single time. That's why I kind of think it's crazy that we go live on this because this is interesting. I know people do a lot of editing behind the scenes on some of their stuff, but if you could just actually see the work that goes into the beginning. But anyway, thanks for tuning in tonight at the Guy Lingo podcast with the host Big Mo and me, Platinum Cash. We were gonna have a special guest. If he gets in, he does. DM may make an appearance tonight. Um, but man, we got a really great show to get in tonight. It's a record hot ass day today here in P Town. It's about that time, but we gotta get into a couple things before we get started. We do a little recap of the week, some current events and things we got into. But to start it off, Big Mo, how was your week?
It was pretty good, bro. Um, again, another
I
week,
can't hear you. A little louder.
another week, not as many problems, so that's always a good thing, right? No one pissed me off or nothing, so I was happy to hear that. um, or whatnot, but it's been a good week. We've been busy, super busy with basketball this week. For those of you guys who don't know, it's high school season, so you're almost going every day. Then we had graduation on Friday. Hats out to my former players that walked across that stage. That's
Congratulations
a big
to the
accomplishment.
graduates.
To Cameron and Judah and Roman. So definitely congratulations to you guys. And then I got to coach some JV basketball yesterday. Let's just say my mental mindset is not built for JV. Uh, let's just put it that way. And then today I was actually watching a JV game. So
Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. So my recap of the week, we had a graduation. I'm gonna go ahead and give a big applause to my second oldest daughter, Ayana. She graduated. Congratulations to her. A big accomplishment there. Graduation was great, short and sweet. The weather was perfect. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, no rain or nothing. So we got there, got pretty decent seats. And they went through it. She got out real quick, got our pictures in. We was gone out of there fast. So now we got the graduation party planned. So that's this next Saturday. So like I said, I got a party every weekend. Then I had the little missus, my youngest. It's her 9-year-old birthday party. She did a what do we do? Sonic. Sonic was the theme for this one,
mm,
and she went to some uh you know how you buy something and you look at the thing and it's like, oh man, this is almost like the burgers that they have at McDonald's on the menu, but when you get it, it ain't the real burger.
it's half
Well,
the
it's too good
size.
to be true. Like they had like all these bouncy houses and all this inflatable things, and so
Where
the
she go
wife
to
went and
jump? Where she go
purchased,
to jump
got
jump?
this, huh?
She go to jump jump.
No, this is like some cheer place that I don't know, they their parties in. But anyway, so they I didn't to tell you the truth, I never even got up to go even check it out because I already knew when I saw her face when she came back, I was like, nope, I don't even want to get up to go look at it because I already know how mad you are right now and what you're about to tell me about the situation. And you know they're mad when they tell you the price that they paid for it, right? So you don't know the price beforehand. You have no clue how much it costs, nothing about it. But the minute it ain't the right thing, oh man, I paid this amount of money for this. I was like, whoa, we what? For them to bounce around, we could have rented a bouncy house.
You could have rented the jump jump, put it in your backyard, bro.
Well, now we can because we got the pool there. But yeah, yeah,
Put it in the
could have.
street. Close your street down.
Well, shoot, possibly could do that. Yeah, but yeah. So the birthday party went well. Outside of that point, a lot of kids, pizza, all that stuff. She had a good time, and then she had asked me, "Hey, Dad, can I have an after party?" And I was like, "You want to have an after party?" She was like, "Yeah." So she had an after party. It was an after pool party. So her and about 5 of her friends, and then her older sisters came through with some gifts and stuff, and they all had a pool party and I barbecued. That was her birthday.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, lots of birthdays, graduation season, lots going on
Yeah,
today.
man. I
Today's
got
my niece 11th birthday, so shout out to
yep.
her.
Happy
Be
birthday.
11.
Dang, double digits. Man, they getting old.
Yeah, yeah, man. Tell me about it.
Double digits.
Yeah, I remember she was trying to jump out the swing from her grandma. Now all of a sudden she 11 years old, bro. Crazy. Time flies, man. Time flies.
when you're having fun.
Hey, that's why you got to live in it, right? Some people plan for the future. Some people live in the past. You got to live in the moment.
Insane. Speaking of moments, you just disappeared on me for a minute right there. We got a lot of crazy stuff happening here locally. A lot of crazy stuff.
There is, bro. There's a
Uh,
whole lot.
I'm just gonna talk about a few stories, but the first story is the kid, this 14-year-old kid,
Mm,
got busted on this like 764 extremist website by undercover cop
in
out of
Claskinine.
Clascanine,
Yeah,
right down the road,
yeah.
on a plot to blow up the Kelso Mall, and while people were running out to shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
No bombs were found at the house, but they found guns.
I saw that.
And okay, so now not only that, so the parents knew he had mental issues, right? But they still had guns and stuff in the house.
But hold on. But was it the parents' guns they found, or was it his guns they found?
Well, first of all, I don't understand either. Like, if you know
Uh,
the person that lives there has some mental issues that could harm you or somebody else, you shouldn't have any guns
see, it depends. I agree with
unless you
you.
got
Like
one and that's completely locked up and you know exactly where it's at. But you
all
don't
your
need
guns,
more than one, if
all your
at
guns
any.
should, whether it's one or whether it's five, all your guns should be locked up. Period. And your kid, it doesn't matter if they're 14, doesn't matter if they're 17. You should be the one that actually you should be the only one that know the code, especially if you know your kid got mental issues. I'm not going to discredit them and say they shouldn't have a gun, right? I don't know their situation,
Yeah. Okay.
but I would definitely sit back and say, if you know there's mental um, instability in your household and you own a gun, you definitely need to lock it up, right? Like I, I own a gun. Yes, my do sit around my house, but I don't have mentally unstable people in my household either. So a little bit different.
So they said that the guns that they found that were um, unsecured were guns that they had pulled out the night before based on people driving by their secluded house out there.
I blame the parents, and I disagree because people can drive by your home, you can pull out your gun, but you still should put it back, right? Were they in the kids' room or were they just out
What
in the parents' room?
they did find a couple in the room. So they found the parents' room and in the kids' room
Mhm.
is what allegedly was said.
That just tells me that they were okay with it. Like at the end of the day, this kid has some serious issues, right? Because I think when I read it, they said that he started plotting it in like January or February.
Yeah.
And again, like whoever, because it wasn't only that website, but I think there were some people that reported them as well, which
Hmm.
made them start investigating. So definitely shout out to those people because that could have been bad, man. Like he was gonna go shoot up a mall full of people, and then I think they said that he had a map of the mall.
Yeah.
He had the exact area that he knew he was going to commit
Yeah. He had it all
suicide
written
at
out.
as well. I mean, to get down to that level of details and your parents has no knowledge tells me that those parents they're
Well,
not following
nah.
up on
I
their
mean,
job.
you can have some kids doing some stuff that your parents ain't gonna have some knowledge of.
You can, but
Like I was
I
sneaking it out of my window quite a bit until I got
yeah,
caught that
I
last time.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I probably shouldn't word it like that, but at the same time, like when you're going that crazy in, I would suspect like there's a sign of change somewhere in
But
your kid.
they did know he had these issues beforehand. So
See,
he was diagnosed. He had been seeing a therapist and a doctor and all that stuff. He had
so
just got prescribed, I guess, some medications.
so listen to what you just said. So, like you said, there's some things that some parents don't know about. I agree. I was the same way, sneaking out of the house and stuff. But once you've been diagnosed with certain things at a young age,
Hmm.
your parents should be more involved, right? Don't get me wrong, parents should always be involved, period. But when you know that your kid is going through some mental struggles, this is a golden opportunity for those parents to be involved. There's no doubt about that. You should be checking up a little bit more because you knew. he was mentally unstable, right? And now your kid finna go to prison
Do you think
or
he should go to prison?
oh, 100%. He's charged as an adult. Because here's the thing: if he carries this out, innocent people are murdered. Then what are we saying?
14 years old. You think he should go to prison,
And you have to. Unfortunately, it shouldn't matter the age. At the end
even
of the
though
day,
nothing happened?
hey, it's an intent. Like it's not a matter of if you leave him out, he's probably gonna plot something again.
Well, okay. What about a mental institute?
For what? They think he has mental health problems. I know
Well,
you
he
said
already was diagnosed with that. That was a whole.
so. So
That's that's. I guess
there's a
that's
fine
kind of the
line,
argument right now. A lot of them are
but
like, okay, after
but
the
that's
fact.
always the argument. That's always the argument. Like let's be real honest with each other. That's always the argument. There's school shootings that happens in the United States every year. There's
Hmm.
mass casualty shootings, and everybody want to say that these people have mental health issues. I haven't yet seen someone shoot up something and they haven't said mental health was involved, right? At the end of the day, we just got to call it what we call it, right? I mean, you just got to call it what you call it, right? Like it- these kids just has no discipline, period, right? I don't care, because at the end of the day, that can be my kid at that mall, that can be your kid at that mall, right? And when you
How
start to talk
how do
about
you
stuff
compare
like
that?
that,
How do you compare that to these kids that are doing drive-bys?
they too should be in jail, right? Like
No, I
you can't.
understand that, but I mean, in the comparison, as far as
It,
family styles and
Yeah, I mean,
you know
you
the.
got those kids are in what gangs? The kids that's doing drive-bys and stuff, they're more
Hmm.
than likely in a gang and stuff like that. So, how do you compare that compared to a kid that's at his house plotting up a bomb threat and to shoot up something? And he went as far as marking the actual location where he was going to commit suicide, right? So he was going to go on a suicidal tear, right? That kid
Yeah.
needs help. He needs help. He does, right? But we always want to put people in mental institutions when they do things that we don't agree with. I actually think we need to
Yeah, I
rethink
mean
that.
that's where I kind of determine like how you determine where the craziness is. Like, how do you determine that dude is mental crazy? Like, if the serial killer has killed 50 people,
Mhm.
that dude is crazy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we're gonna give him, but he doesn't go to a mental institute. He gets,
Hmm.
I mean, it
Life,
depending on the state that he ends up in,
life in
death
prison.
or
Yeah, he gets life in
unlimited
prison.
life.
But because this kid's 14 and he's been diagnosed with mental health issues, they're gonna more likely put him in a mental institution, right? It's not right. At the end of the day, he was getting ready to go and kill innocent victims. They didn't say the date he was gonna do it, but and apparently he was also pledged into racial websites as well, right? He was part of
Yeah,
the Klan, right? He was pledging to
extremist
terrorist.
website 764. I think that's what they called it. The 764 network.
You know, I blame our government and I blame our country for all of this stuff that's happening. For the simple fact that you can take down a app like TikTok, but you can't stop all of these websites that you are monitoring.
On the
Our
black
government is
web. Yeah,
monitoring,
yeah.
right? You're monitoring the black web. You're monitoring all of these gun purchases. You know it's happening on these websites, and you fail to do nothing, right? Like just let that settle in, right? And I don't care what people say. If it's my kid, you better watch out. I'm bringing the whole country down. Like, but you're not. I mean, it's just unacceptable, right? Like the fact that our government and all of these people have access to all of these websites. Every website you get on, people are
Yeah,
monitoring it, right?
yeah.
Doesn't matter what it does. Yahoo.com, Google. Like you are not private when it comes down to a website. And you're gonna sit here and tell me that we allow it until something get ready to happen, or until something happens, then we want to talk about
I agree.
he was part of this group that he was pledging in, right? Like
Or
why
we
ain't
were
that
following him, but we just didn't have enough information
yeah,
right
but we
away
didn't
to
have
do
enough
anything about
information.
it.
Why aren't you shutting these websites down? Yeah, they're gonna open another one. You just close that one too. Like if you really want to like make a change.
I
Start
mean,
one
they're restricting you to play music in the background of Facebook Live. Like you can't you can't even
without
play
getting a
music
lawsuit,
now.
right? Like
Yeah,
the people that are harmless. I've always said this: the people that are harmless, you want to impact. Like those are the people that you want to come after them for not paying their taxes. You want to come after them for trying to do right, right? You want to come after them for trying to make a living. But then the people that's running around here tearing up this country, because I know we're going to talk about another topic that we're probably going to have to put a disclaimer up because I'm probably going to say some stuff that's offensive. Those are the people that we are enabling and allowing them to do it until something happened. And then when something happened, we all want to say, well, this and well, that, right? How about we start taking actions early, right?
yeah.
And that's, that's sometimes I always talk about, I want to go into politics for that reason. But then, you're like, you got to play the political game when you go into politics. So, I just try. That's one of the reasons why I coach basketball. I just try and make a change for others, man. But that's crazy. Like, mind blowing just to sit back and think about when I saw you was from Class Canine, and I'm sitting there thinking, bro, I'm
It's right up
coaching
the street.
I'm coaching basketball 10 miles away from this place, right? He could have picked our high school, right?
Or or you could have people that are going there because it's just
Yeah,
right up the road.
yeah, or he could have picked their high school, or it could have, luckily they prevented something that could have went crazy. But I mean, that could have been. I mean, that's very close to here. So it's crazy just to think about it, man.
Ooh, man. On this hot day, so you got a lot of people at the waters out here, a lot of
Hmm.
stuff happening, and I
Hmm.
had mentioned back before that there was bodies that they had kept pulling out of the river here in Willamette,
They still
downtown
is.
Portland.
They just put one the other day.
So yeah, so they just pulled out one just the other day, but then they just found body parts of another one a couple days before that, and the body parts of that one had belonged to somebody that had been missing since 2022.
I saw that. I saw that. Yep. The
And
guy
then
that.
in the same breath, the officer or chief or whoever was speaking said, "Expect to see more bodies."
Mhm. I
Now,
mean,
in my life of living here, I done seen a lot of news. Not once have I ever heard anybody ever say, "Expect to see a lot more bodies washing up."
that just tells you how many people are missing, right? Or that they're starting to suspect a little bit that these people was dumped in rivers and stuff like that. Like me growing up in the South, and being in Miami and Georgia, people get dumped in the Everglades and stuff, right? Like they rely on snakes and alligators and stuff like that to kill them, right, or to finish them off or whatnot. But they still find the body later on, or some sort of remains, right? I just think so many people went missing over the last 5 years since COVID, to the fact that now I think it's now catching up with everybody. So I've never seen this many bodies being pulled from the river in a 2 minute. It's been like a 2 month
2 months.
span
Yeah,
where it's
this is
been
insane.
insane. Hmm.
Like I'm trying to figure out where the sleuths are at over here in Portland that are investigating these things. Like, what's going on? Can somebody please tap in?
Well, my thing is they finding all these bodies, but they're not arresting anybody. Does that not seem weird to you?
That's part
Like
of it too.
all these people are going missing for years. Not it ain't like they going missing for like these people are like this dude went missing in 2022. By the way, he was picked up by an Uber driver.
And for some
Well,
reason, I feel like there's gonna be like a Dateline
he
coming
was
from out here.
dropped off by an Uber driver at the casino, and he never got picked back up by an Uber driver. That doesn't even sound right. So yeah, I mean, I think it's getting out of control, man. For a person that want to buy a boat right now, be on the river, guess I can help.
Man, that's just insane. I'm just trying to figure that out. What if this is just like a out of bounds question? Like, what if you was just chilling one day and you found out that somebody you knew was the killer? What would you
And
do? What would
I,
you say?
you know what's
Because I
funny?
always wonder when these dudes get on here and they have friends, obviously, and stuff. They was just kicking it and stuff. They was like, "Man, I was just with
I've
your
always said
ass.
that. I've always
I
said that.
just was with you."
I've always said that. And then when they interview you, that's the funny part because you'd be like, I've always suspected him of being weird.
they always be saying that knowing they didn't know that.
it
Otherwise, they'd
ain't.
be like, "Well, why were you still hanging out with him if that was what you suspected?"
Yeah, it ain't funny, but that's how people be processing it though when you think about it, right? Like people, I always thought this was gonna be weird, but
Maybe that's
um,
when we started to talk to the guys that were friends of the guys.
I think for anybody, right? Like people that you are friends with, like you tend to kind of know your friends' tendencies and things like that. When you
These
got
dudes be like, "I had no idea."
Yeah, when you see things aren't right, you should probably speak up. That would probably be my 2 cents to it, right? Like if you start to see your friend like move swings and stuff change, and yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't got the answer for it. Like between the kid that decided he wanted to try and bomb up a place and be a hero versus Rivers being picked up, Rivers being found
Bodies in
and
the rivers, yeah.
bodies in the rivers. Like I don't know what this world's coming to, especially locally, man. It's getting out of control.
Oof.
It's getting out of control, man.
Yeah. We was out on that boat too. Okay, I see. And that's crazy.
I mean that's the crazy
It
part.
popped up today. It was out there
Yeah.
just on Friday. It popped up just the other day. Oh, no
Absolutely
way.
insane.
Uh Man, now nationally in the news. We actually have a trip coming up back down in LA.
You do?
I wonder if it's still gonna be going down like it is right now. A lot of animosity and a lot of protests, riots, raids, all this is going on back in LA again over the president's ICE actions.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean
Hey,
it's going crazy. So he sent in the National Guard now. Like he sent the
yeah, I
National
saw
Guard
that.
in
Yeah, I
because
saw
things are
that.
getting out of control. 2,000 National Guardsmen and women he sent
Put that
down to
disclaimer up.
LA to intervene.
Yeah, put that disclaimer up, bro.
Oh wait, let me find a
Yeah,
disclaimer
just
here.
as we're talking about this stuff. Just so that they know that it's just our own views. Everybody has their own view and stuff. Um, I've actually been following this a little bit differently compared to how I've followed other stuff in the past. Um, I think how they're rioting is one of the reasons why the president, without me saying his name, um, is doing what he's doing, right? I just got one thing that kind of ticked me off a little bit today. I one of the things I love to do, I love to visit other countries. I love to know about other cultures. I love to learn
Yeah.
about other cultures. That's just what I absolutely love to do. That's near and dear to my heart because it makes you really appreciate the country that we actually live in that much more when you go off and you visit the other countries. I think one of the things that bothered me today was that there was a video that I was watching earlier, right? And everybody was standing up to the cops with the Mexico flag, right? And whatnot. And I think that probably bothered me more than anything because in my mind, I'm thinking if your country is that much more better, why are you here tearing up ours? Leave. It's that plain and simple. At the end of the day, you're in the United States of America. You're not in Mexico, right? And when I saw that video today of literally it was probably 15, 20 different Mexican people holding up their flags, right? Holding up the Mexico flag, and the cops are all right there in their full armor gear. Why are you here, bro? No one's stopping you from going there.
But here's the thing: are you saying that when everybody holds their flags up for all the different countries? Because
Yeah.
Palestine had flags up, Jewish
So
people had
yeah,
flags up.
yeah, yeah. No, 100%. So
I
again,
mean, everybody had a
what,
flag
what
up when they had to protest their cause.
but are you here for? Are you holding it up for support, or like what is your purpose, right? Because at the end of the day, you're in the United States of America. Like that's all I'm saying, right? You have the option to go back. No one is holding you here
I
against
agree
free
with that.
will or anything like that. You have the option to go back, but instead, you want to run around and wave your flags and stuff, right? And some of these guys are criminals. Like I saw a video today where they were throwing bottles and stuff at cops. That's assault. right off the bat, right? And we all know Mo. Mo is not. I don't bleed any color, right? We all know I've had my share, my runarounds with the officer in law enforcement. But at the end of the day, these guys are trying to do their job, right? The people that's on the front line, the National Guards, the women's, they didn't sign up for this, man, right? And you shouldn't be throwing stuff at them because it's not them that's making, making ICE do what they do. It's your president, right?
Yeah, and I agree with
And
that, and and
and
that's
if you want
and
to do
I
better,
agree with that big time.
and if you want to do better, you know, it starts in your community. And tearing it up is not it. That's just not the answer, bro. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Doesn't matter what you say. You know, rioting is not the answer. I cannot stress that out, man. It does nothing. It does nothing for this country. It does nothing for the people that's around it. But more importantly, it just does nothing for our military, right? And it's sad to see what I'm seeing in LA today. And I've been following it,
Yeah, I
definitely
agree
since
that
that
it
happened.
is not the people on the ground's fault. I agree it comes from way above, but that's how a lot of things come from way above. Um,
But we got to beat a change, though, man. Like somebody got to beat a change, right? Because
yeah,
now,
but I put it like this. I don't think everybody's out to riot. I think you got just like any situation,
Mhm.
there's the 10% that believe that, hey, I'm gonna get something out of this, right? Like they could just be rioting just to be rioting because they see it as an opportunity.
Mhm.
Like they ain't
Yeah,
even there for they don't even care about what's going on. Like
like in Portland.
they
Yep,
probably
yep.
aren't even Mexican, to be honest
Like in
with you.
Portland. Yep. Yeah.
Like they probably are
That,
just down there just to mess around and just to go steal something or just to burn something, break something. Like there are literally people out there that travel just to do that. I don't understand how that works, but just like the just like you have the black web. There's probably they got all that stuff on there too. Like there's those people that are doing that. Like
yeah.
there's
No.
everybody doing everybody, everybody doing everything.
Yeah.
So
No.
I
I hear you. Cause look at some of these pictures, bro. Like, like look at this, bro.
yeah, that's what
Just
I mean.
scroll
Like
through some
some
of them.
people see it as an opportunity. Is let me get my GTA on. Let me get my Grand Theft Auto on. Let me go out here and let me go blow someone up. Let me go do this and see if I can get away with it because I have more of an opportunity to get away with it in this moment because there's so many people doing it or so many other stuff going on. Like, shoot, we gonna be able to we ain't gonna even be able to go nowhere.
Look at this, bro.
That's crazy, man. This is and it's crazy. And they just had all the other stuff happening with LA down there.
Yeah.
Like they don't need all that. I agree. This is pointless. A lot of this is pointless. You could protest. You can get your point across without having destruction and violence.
That's my
But
whole
like I
purpose.
said, it's those that come there on purpose to do it that try to make it seem like that's what everybody is
Check.
doing to ruin the cause.
Check. However, yep. Nope. I hear your point. But if it's more of you that's there to not cause a problem, why aren't we pulling out the people that are there to cause the problem? Right? If
Because
it's
you don't
more of
want that
you,
confrontation.
and I know you don't want the confrontation, but now it just put a bad name on everybody, right? Right now, all of this stuff that's happening in LA, right? It's showing who's winning, right? And that's our government, right? At the end of the day, in my eyes, the government is there to incite violence. Like I've always said that, and I'm gonna always believe that. They're not there to get rid of violence because if they were, like I said, the internet would be restricted for from a lot of sites and stuff like that to allow
I
people to
got you.
get there and get themselves up. So the government is enticing a lot of this stuff, and people are feeding right into it, which is
Gaslighting
sad.
it.
Which is sad. And again, I just the police officers and the military, National Guards, those people. I just hope that none of them get injured by just trying to do their job at the end of the day. Sad,
Mm.
man. It's sad, bro. I mean, it reminds me of Portland when Donald Trump became president in 2016, and you couldn't even go downtown, right? Because it was it was rioting,
Insane.
tearing up the town. It was just absolutely insane, right? Over a person becoming president, like at the end of the day, you got to go back to work tomorrow, bro.
I agree.
You know,
That's what I don't
but
understand. Like a lot of people, I guess it's almost like having a favorite football team or something.
mm,
Like we ain't out there playing, but you act like you are. Like these people be fighting.
yeah,
Like people die over these events. Like you ain't even out there. But yeah, it's just that deep.
but I don't understand how it gets that deep. I mean, we all know that I'm a diehard fan of some teams, but they ain't paying my bill. Well, if I gamble right, they probably
But
will.
see, that's the
But
only thing.
they,
If you're gambling,
but they ain't paying my bills though, bro. You know what I mean? I'm a sports fan. I'm gonna talk crap, right? But once the game's over, the game's over. You know what I mean? Like, I'm moving on. You know, my Heat got bounced from the playoffs this year 4-0. I moved on to baseball, right? So, until next year. But, I'm not going to sit
baseball.
there and just try and, put more gas on it, light it up or whatnot. Like, I just think it's just crazy. Like, and I just think that's what the people of LA and the people that's in LA, and I guarantee you, most of them don't even live in LA. They probably, like you said, they probably came over there. But it's just that's the one thing that just bothers me. I'm all for people representing their states, their country, and stuff like that. But when it comes to protesters and stuff, you know, why are you holding up your flag? And I can't stress that out. Like, are you holding it up to for support, or are you holding it up trying to, say, hey, my country's better than yours? Because if
Should
that's
they
the
hold an
case,
American flag up?
like at the end of the day, we are in America. At the end of the day, you're protesting ICE, who's trying to send people back to countries. And again, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I'm for ICE, but you're trying to send people back to their country because they're here illegally or they've committed some sort of violent crime, from my
So
understanding.
are they sending
And this
back
is my own.
all
This
people illegally that are not from America? So that doesn't mean that means like if you're from Australia, if you're from the UK, if you're from Canada, if you're from
From my research, yes, but
oh,
I think
okay.
that I think from what has happened is that the 90 percentile of all people have migrated from South America, right? They haven't migrated. You don't, I'm not saying that you don't have people here illegally here from Canada, or
Ireland.
other countries, or other countries, but I think most of the migrations have come through South America, right? Which is Mexico and Venezuela and all of those South American countries. They've migrated themselves up. And also, from my understanding, is that it was really only it started out with people that only committed crime. It seems like it done escalated ever since.
It has escalated a lot, apparently.
Yeah.
Hence is why we got the National Guard going down there.
But besides, bro, I hope you ain't one of them dudes that's cutting the food. They looking for you. You should be on the hideout anyways, man. What the hell you protesting for, man?
Ooh.
If they looking for you, what the hell you doing in the streets, bro? You better go hide
Oh,
out.
I got what you're saying. Yeah, well, they that's I guess they figure they in numbers. They can hide. I don't know.
It's going crazy though. I don't understand. Like you're okay with picking up a charge, getting charged with assault or whatever it is, whatever the charges are. The fact that you're okay with that and it has nothing to do with you. There's other ways to get your point across. So many other ways to get your point across,
I don't know. People just be
bro.
doing it for the cause.
Violence is not it, man.
Like
Not it.
I like a lot of different things, and I believe in a lot of different stuff. But yeah, I'm not about to go out.
Yeah, violence is just not it. Like I don't know,
Well,
probably because
first
I'm
of
not a
all,
violent person.
you can protest without having to be outside. Like I just don't that like that should have ended way back in the day. Y'all should have realized that with the internet.
Yeah,
Like you don't need to protest to be in front of a place. You can protest by not buying stuff. You can
yeah.
protest by
There's
reviews. I
there's
mean,
ways
there's
to
many
do it.
different ways you can hurt
You know,
different things and protest stuff.
yeah, there's ways to do it, and I just think again, it just goes back. It all goes back to the presidency and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the country spoke, right?
Like
At the
I
end
put
of
it
the
like
day,
this: there's a lot of immigrants and people that are here that are the backbones to a lot of things that
oh,
operate in the
100%. Yep,
U.S.
yep,
So if they all decided to say, hey, you know what? let's not do this. I know y'all need the money, but they need that money more. Trust me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
And to find a
agree. Like,
replacement, it will be hard.
yeah, the field workers, the manufacturing.
Uh
I mean,
huh.
all of those jobs. Like, there's other ways to protest. Like, I think when the black community started protesting Target earlier this year, I think Target dropped like billions of dollars, right? Um, and again, I'm not just saying that's the one way to do
That's
it,
right.
but I'm just saying, like, it's hard to stop these billionaire
Shoot,
companies or these
it is
ways and
not.
stuff like that. Like, it doesn't matter, but it takes a force to do it though. That's the issue, right? And not everybody's on board to do stuff like that. Not everybody's on board to do stuff like that, unfortunately, man.
Whoa. Um, I have something else to talk about locally here, sports related. Did you see Thurston uh, hurdles? She made it all. She got all over the news. The hurdler when she had hit the last hurdle and tumbled, did two somersaults
Did
to win the race.
did I did.
That was
Um,
interesting. Probably won't ever
shout
see
out,
that again.
shout out to her. That's all I'm gonna say. She yeah, that was pretty impressive. There's a reason she made the news. She should have made the national news on that one.
No, she did make national. Yep, she's
Oh,
been on the
I
top
didn't
lot
say
of
it.
different
I saw
shows.
it on local, but for you to hit that last one and still win, yeah,
She's like, yeah, I was in gymnastics, so I just
she definitely
tuck and
tumbled.
roll.
Oh, she tumbled. She tumbled. But that just shows the hard work she put in, man. Um, yeah.
Do you think
Uh,
you would have been able to do
me at 17 or me at me at my
I'm just saying two. I'm just
nah.
saying two consecutive somersaults. I'm not talking
You
about
know
jump the
what?
hurdles.
I done seen people hit them hurdles, fall, and they don't get back up. The fact that she hit the hurdle, failed, and she was still able to do two tuck and rolls to win it.
Yeah, that's
Hats
that's
off to
crazy.
her, bro. Like, because like I said, I don't seen people hit that hurdle with their back foot. They failed, they rolled, but they didn't move after that roll. She was rolling to win. She wasn't rolling because she failed, right? Like, she was rolling like, I got to get over this line here,
Yeah,
which was
that's her
pretty
first year
impressive to
running.
her. Yeah, yeah, which was
She was
pretty
hurt the year
impressive to her.
before. So wow. Yep. Another crazy thing. Speaking of track, so there's one girl, black girl, wins the 4x100 meter race. Upon her winning, her dad decides to have a fire extinguisher away from everybody else and sprays her shoes because she was so hot because she was just burning the track up. They find out about this. They disqualify her. She no longer wins the first place. Do you agree or disagree, and why not?
Was this after she
This
won it?
after she won it.
So after she won it, it's already over. Dad gets a fire extinguisher, and
He already had it planned. He already planned it out. Dad already talked about it. If she
because she
won,
was
that's what he was
kicking
gonna
butt,
do.
because she was kicking butt, he blew the fire extinguisher on her foot only with no one else
Away
looking.
from everybody else, not by the crowd, like right in front of where everybody was gonna get, fumes and everything. It was away from everybody.
Why did they say she got DQ'd?
They said that that was disrespectful. That wasn't unsportsmanlike.
So she got an unsportsmanlike conduct call, which is a 15-yard penalty in football. It's a technical foul in basketball, but in track, it's a disqualification.
Apparently so.
Nah. What was this? Please don't say Oregon.
No, it wasn't Oregon. Shoot, I'll have to find. I forget where she was at because that one
Here's
just
what
came off the top of my head. I remember reading about it.
he- here's what I would say to that. Adults needs to get off their hay horse. Let's just put it that way. Come on, you don't disqualify her. Like, there's other ways to handle it, right? You tell her, you put it in your rule book. This should never happen, right?
Okay.
You changed the rules, right? Like there, okay, she made a change. She did something that no one has never done. It's not in your rule book anywhere. You don't disqualify her. She won it fair and square. Dad, hats off to that damn dad. That's some creative stuff. I gotta put her. She kicked butt like that. I gotta put her out. Come on, I like that. I love that ideal actually. But you just changed the rules. You just changed the rules moving forward. I think that's how you handle the situation.
Yeah, I agree part of it. I don't I think that she should still get her first place. I don't think she should get disqualified. Um, I do like you want to have something crazy and hyped up for the internet. I understand stuff like that. But bring a fire hydrant and blow it out the shoes at the state meet. Now you're gonna have parents bringing like crazy stuff like firecrackers and things
Like
like that. Like,
that's
you
why you
know,
changed the rule. They just
I
changed. They just changed the game. They changed the game for this
I
week.
understand that, but he should have been thinking in his head as a dad, like, why don't we just wait after you win and do it at home?
You know what? Some parents have such high egos, and you're a coach. I mean, some parents have such high egos, right? That they're still trying to live through their kids when it comes down to sports in general, right?
Mhm.
And that could have been something that he thought about when he was younger that he didn't win or whatnot, and he was like, "I'm gonna do this through my kid," you know. And again, like I've just seen that over years, parents and their egos and their kids the next best thing or their kids not good at all, but their egos allow them to overshadow their kid. I don't think that you punish the kid for that.
I
I
agree.
mean,
That's what I'm saying.
nor do you punish the parents, but you have a long talk with them, and you just again you just change your rule book, bro. If it's not in the rule book,
But you can't really
you
punish
can't.
the parent in that situation outside of, I guess you can't say you can no longer come to the meets.
Yeah, but
But
if it's not in the rule book, bro, you can't DQ somebody for
I
something
agree.
that's not in the rule book. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
That's crazy.
Whew.
That is fire, boy.
And
Oh man,
nobody else complained about it but them when they found out.
the school.
There had to be some parent that said, "Oh my god, I can't believe this."
There's always one or two. There's always a handful. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, she's still the champion. So what do you do? Just give second and third place their thing, or you move them up? Because
Yeah,
if I'm first place, I'm not accepting that when she just blew me out.
yeah. I don't know. Wow, man, track and field just be crazy this year.
It's been haywire, man.
Crazy stuff happening in
It's
track.
been yeah, track's been haywire.
Wow.
Yeah, but man, it's I don't know for the second week in a
Shout out to
row. It's
softball. Softball's
yeah,
great. Our
yeah.
our girls second
Definitely
place.
shout out to our girls softball team. They lost in a championship yesterday, but those girls, I mean, for those of you guys that follow us, our school has been through so much media over this last school year, and athletics has stepped up and showed out in all sports. But huge shout out to the softball team. They couldn't pull it
And the
off.
girls were killing this year.
It's hard to beat a team three times.
The
Yeah,
senior class. The senior
girls
class is
sports has
great.
been dominating. They've been awesome. But shout out to them. Shout out to Sherwood too. It's their first ever
Yeah, I saw that too. Shout out to
championship.
Sherwood.
They won that game as well. And again, congrats to Astoria, right? Like I know they're not. It's a conference thing. Even though our girls can pull it out, they still kept it in the Coapa League. So that's awesome to see too.
Shout out to my daughter Trinity in softball. Keep it up so we can start finding these right schools we're gonna go to. Y'all keep winning so she can go there.
Yeah. So yeah, and yeah. Speaking of softball, um, there was a little incident yesterday. I wasn't there,
There was an
uh,
incident in
but
softball?
I wasn't there. But my little niece had a softball game yesterday, 10, 11
So
years old.
something happened at hers?
Um, and I guess a lady was disrespecting the kids yesterday at the softball game, like a 10-year-old, and I want to call out this is rec. This is not competitive softball. So the lady was like, "We ain't bowling, right?" Because the little girl was messing up
Kept
and
hitting the ground? Okay.
crying and stuff, and the lady didn't like it.
This is
So
a
my
coach.
no, 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 no. This was a fan. Unfortunately, that
Oh,
fan was sitting right next to my sister who didn't like it. So there was some confrontation, some words said yesterday at the softball game. All I'm gonna say is you lucky I wasn't there, and luckily
wait.
it wasn't.
Whoa,
They
whoa.
luckily they weren't talking about my niece, right? So that again, that's a thing. But they were talking about a kid, and I can't stress this out enough. It's rec, bro. This is not competitive softball. Rec is kids learning how to play softball, right?
And even in
So
even in the competitive, they're still learning.
yeah, they're always learning.
Yeah.
But as a parent or a fan, we talk about kids with basketball, but we ain't talking about them in a way to bring their spirits down. And yesterday, whoever it was, after I got the story from my sister, that's just unacceptable. And I hope she hears this because she needs to be ashamed of herself.
Wow.
So
Man.
yeah, that was
It's
popping
a
off.
it's a lot of anger and built up stuff in these
Eh,
youth sports. Like this is just getting out of hand. Like I don't know
In
why it's
general,
getting so crazy in youth sports.
yeah,
I think maybe it goes back to a lot of parents that didn't get to play, that wanted to play.
or maybe
Um,
or maybe it just goes back to COVID, right? People were stuck in the house for so long. Now they coming out showing them true selves.
yeah,
I, wa-
it has
I,
gotten crazy.
I,
Refs, coaches,
I don't know.
fans,
Everybody's going bizarre now, man.
players. Like I saw one video of a basketball kid just ran up and elbow kid in the face.
When he was shooting a three, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that, and then walked away from it. Then just walked like
I'm like, what in the
I saw that.
man?
Yeah,
So yeah, a lot of people can't control emotions. That's what's going on. People can't control emotions.
stay at home if you can't. It's that plain and simple. If you can't, I don't. If you can't lead with love, stay at home. I mean, you got to be
Can't
nice
control
in this world,
emotions.
bro. Yeah, yeah. I think that's why I like the
And they think everything can be controlled or fixed with a pill.
with the pill or an apology. With the pill or an apology or a lawsuit, depending on how you look at it. We're gonna get into that conversation, but
I
or a
don't,
lawsuit,
I don't know who settled for a lawsuit, but what?
or a lawsuit. It seems like to me, all these NBA players and celebrities are getting sued in this world, but they're not. But they're
Who's
not
getting
being
sued?
charged. Did you see Zion this week?
What?
You didn't hear about Zion?
Uh-uh.
Oh
No.
yeah, so he's been
You
sued.
getting blackmailed?
Um, his girlfriend is suing him. His ex girlfriend is suing him, saying that he raped her
Oh, this
twi-
one.
twice in their 3 year relationship. One happened one night when she said she wasn't feeling it, and he did it anyways, and she said she was raped, and then she continued to date him a year and a half later.
I have a question. Can a guy get away with saying I'm not feeling it?
Guy or girl, no means no by definition, but I think
Oh,
if
I
a
wish I
guy
had this for you. I literally saw a TikTok or the Reverend. I don't know his name, but he said, "Listen, if you are a woman and you have the man there, he has needs. So if you are know you're in a committed relationship and you know he has needs, sometimes you need to do some things you don't want to do." These are the words of the Reverend. So I'm just
that re-
saying,
that reverend probably made some people unhappy.
he sure did. He said, "I know I'm about to ruffle some feathers up in here."
Yeah, oh yeah, but you know what though? I think I talked about this on a few episodes before, and then I was, if you are raped, file a criminal complaint. I don't care
I
if you're
agree.
a boy, I don't care if you're a girl. Stop coming after the money and put these people behind bars. Because if you are raped, they should not
Be about the money.
about the money at that point. You need to be about getting this person off the street so the next person ain't raped or whatever the case may be. Um, but I was listening to a podcast earlier this week. Got the name of it. But they had a girl on there, not a celebrity. It was just a podcast similar to ours. I love to like listen to what other people talk about. And she talked about not putting yourself in that situation. And I thought it was super powerful for all women and men to listen to it, but predominantly women's is who she was talking about.
Hmm.
Because she talked about if you're gonna go on a date or you're gonna go stay the night with somebody, right? You can't go stay the night with somebody without the intent of something happening, right? Like so putting yourself in that situation exposes you right to something happening, right? So at the end of the day, don't put yourself in that situation. I thought it was super powerful how she described it. I could not describe it how she did, but
Okay.
I don't understand. This person continued. You got raped. He talked about how he took your cell phone so you could not call anybody for help, but you eventually got your cell phone back.
It went home.
You continued to date him. You didn't break it off. He did it again later on. So at what point, like it's one thing you do it once. But why do you keep coming back? It's the same thing with the Shannon Sharp situation. At some point, I can't support or believe that
Yeah.
because you kept coming back, right? A true rape victim, in my eyes, is not going to keep coming back. They may not tell for a while, which vulnerability is real,
Well, you'll have
but
different types of situations. Like you could have someone that's in a relationship that's married, so you have nowhere to go. So you're always coming back, right? And you're in abusive. Not only just that, you're in also in that abusive relationship. So
Mhm.
maybe you're scared to leave. Okay, but I can see where in that one she had free reign to leave and go. Like
It's
she
not like
wasn't
this
in a
guy's
committed
home.
relationship to the
Like,
point where she
yeah,
was married,
yeah, and also how you're
and she
describing it,
never
right?
said
Like,
anything about abuse.
yeah, and how you're describing it, most of these people that are abused, from my understanding and knowledge, they typically not allowed to leave the house as much, right? This dude's traveling, so you definitely had free range to get out, but you
Hmm.
continued to date him, right? And then because he didn't want to pay you whatever, and he just signed the new NBA contract, you want to file a lawsuit. Silver, civil, civil. I keep saying civil because civil's driving me nuts, man. Civil's driving me nuts. I think there needs to be a rule you can't file a civil without a criminal
I,
because there
oh,
needs to
oh.
be a criminal. There needs to be criminal investigation. I cannot stress this out. I do not support rapists.
Like
I
if
don't
you
support
if you found
murderers.
not guilty, why am I paying your civil suit?
Exactly. Right. Like I don't support rapists. I don't support murderers. But if you're not telling, I mean, they're just going to do it to the next person. So you're not helping the cause because they broke you off with a couple $1 million. That's all I'm saying. You're not helping anyone but yourself in this case.
Mm.
And you're telling me heal your money's gonna help you? Just not making sense, bro.
Yeah, man. It's the game that's been going on for many years, decades.
It's gotten worse.
There's a
Seems like
lot
it's
of
getting worse
guys,
now.
and then there's a lot of guys that do it and get away with it, and there's a lot of guys that don't do it and get caught up in it.
Yeah.
Um, it's a crazy game out there. You gotta, man. That's probably why I'm broke. I'm joking, babe. No, but for y'all with the money, I just gotta, you know what you're doing. Pay attention to the situations, I guess.
Mhm.
I guess you really wouldn't know in something like that, right? Because you have been kicking it for 3 years off and on.
That's the
Like,
part
if
that
there was
that's
an
the part that
issue,
I struggle. Yeah,
like, why are you
that's
still coming back to me? Why are you even wanting me? I know why you're wanting
yeah,
me because I'm the one paying money for everything.
yeah. I struggle with that part. Like that, I think like my mental mindset. I struggle more than ever with what you just said.
this lifestyle is different these days. Like, man, I remember like buying dinner and going to a movie. Like, a purse. Okay, maybe no, but the purses back then was different. Maybe like a bracelet, a necklace, or something. These dudes, I don't understand. I'm just trying to figure out what these girls are doing with this amount of money. Like these dudes are giving them so much money. Like, why? What are you doing with it? Like they bought you a car. You live now. They paying your rent. Now, what are you doing? What are you getting money? Now, what are you doing with your money? Like these dudes are paying for everything just to have sex. I was just trying to figure this out. That's the most expensive prostitution ever,
I'm speechless on it. And is it
and half these
prostitution?
girls are built. So you made them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that out. You made half these girls. Half these girls are made up. Now, don't get me wrong. There's still a few that are all natural, but
Yeah.
majority
Yeah.
to fit the script of what needs to be seen or who needs to be seen with who.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So honestly, aren't all these girls even different by the time you actually look at them? If they've all got the same BBL,
Yeah. They haven't. Yeah, they haven't. I don't know, bro. Like that's the part I don't. I don't know. I don't have the answer. Like, but is it worth like
maybe I got to sit
real?
down and talk to some of them and be like, man, what is it about it?
Because you sit back and you really think about like, is it like, and then like what if he goes? I think the reason why they don't file a criminal suit because if he goes to jail, you don't get anything. So that could be why they go for the money. But what's crazy is I haven't seen us in our in this again goes back to our government. People are settling with these lawsuits, but then our government's doing nothing to file to. Why don't the government file a criminal suit when they file a civil suit over rape allegations? That's a serious charge, man.
Well,
That's
that's
a
because
serious offense.
they have to be able to have them come clean and talk about it. If they're not going to come and talk about it, then they ain't got no case about it.
So you're not willing to talk about it, but you just want $100 million, and it makes all things go away, and you're
But
okay with him, and you're perfectly okay with him moving on to the next girl, and the same thing may happen.
craziest thing, Mo, is that thing happens for people that don't be giving hundreds of $1 million at all. Some of them do it just because they're scared and they don't want to report it. And that same guy be the same dude that be out the next day doing the
It's
same thing.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. And what's crazy with the Zion situation is that it all happened twice,
Right before you get the
almost
money.
almost a
Right
month.
before you get the
And it's
money.
right when he's in it.
Shay
It's like
Shay,
every
you about
time
to
you
get this
hear
$100 million
somebody,
contract. Right
yeah,
before you get the money.
yeah,
Hey, Stephen A. hands too clean, so they weren't able to say nothing before he got his check.
that is crazy because it happened. It happened 1 month, and then she's saying that it happened the next month,
Yeah.
and she's seeking between 18 to $50 million.
Yep. About to get this $20 million contract out of nowhere. I have 18 baby mamas.
Say
Oh my
18.
god. Oh man, you say something on there, everybody come out of nowhere with all these. Oh yeah, he was here. I know him from 20 years ago. No, you don't. No, you do not.
But that's the crazy part, though, man. Like that's the like that's why I think it goes back to that question when you talked about would you rather be rich or would you better rather be rich and not public or famous
Or famous.
or would you just rather be rich and not famous, right? Like again, I would be rich and not famous or no one know me all day long,
That would be kind
right?
of hard because you can't do nothing. Like
You
you
can
can't get away with nothing. Can't go nowhere. There's eyes, people, cameras on you all the time.
it's crazy, man.
Like
I
it
mean,
pays off, but then it doesn't pay off because a lot of them. That's why they have a lot of mental issues because they can't get downtime to not do nothing.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
can't just be themselves when they want to be themselves.
which is crazy, bro. Just sitting back thinking about like that is just insane. Oh
Can't
well.
be yourselves when you want to be yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You see Coco Golf won the French Open. First person to win the first American to win the French Open since
I did not see that.
Serena Williams
Okay, let's
in
go.
2015. So definitely shout out to Coco on that one. That's big for her, man. Big, big, big.
Nice, Coco. Sounds like she should have just played golf though. Like she had the name for it, Coco Golf. Isn't it crazy how some of these kids get named and then they go into a sport and their name just fits the sport?
Coco Golf.
And then you be trying to make your kids' names be like that because you think they're gonna be famous one day and that name works.
That's yeah.
Still working at it, mom. Still working. Still working.
Hey, you gotta give him a unique name. But
Don't
definitely
talk
shout
about my
out to
name
her,
she gave
man.
me. That's what I'm
I,
saying.
I used to sit back and watch her. I used to watch her play a lot, but definitely shout out to her.
Real quick recap: we got the finals.
We jump into basketball.
We got 30 minutes left. I still got a question. I had a whole list of questions.
So so really quick before you jump to the finals, did you see that Lance Stevenson and Michael Beasley 1-on-1? They played 1-on-1 for $100,000.
No, what was this on?
Uh, it was live, bro. It was like $30 a ticket too. A lot of people was
$30 a
there
ticket to
watching.
watch it?
A lot of people was there watching them, bro. Lots of people was there
Two
watching.
old dudes, 1-on-1
You gotta YouTube it, man.
for $100,000. Who won?
They ended up going 200 because but you got to see all of the hype leading up to it because Beasley was talking out kind of crap. Oh, Beasley cooked him. He got cooked by Beasley, bro. He got cooked.
Well, I could have told you that was gonna be the case. Lance Stevenson ain't good.
Yeah, he got cooked by him, bro.
And who he borrowed money from for to pay that?
Your guess as good as mine, bro. But
I'm just joking.
Beasley took his money and ran.
So now this is the new thing: 1-on-1s for money.
1-on-1s. I actually like the 1-on-1 game. I actually think they should do a little bit more of that. That 1-on-1 game is nice.
Who in the NBA right now would you like to see 1-on-1 for $1 million?
I don't Steph versus Kyrie.
Huh.
Before Achilles, Kyrie. I don't know how he's gonna return after.
That might be.
But
They might
I can,
even him out
but
with Steph because Steph. Oh,
but I can do a couple different peoples, right? You got
I want to
Steph
see
and
KD
Kyrie.
and LeBron 1-on-1.
I was about to say KD, LeBron 1-on-1. Here's the thing. I don't think nobody will beat KD in 1-on-1. Because he has the mid jumper that no one else has. That's the problem, right? So I really don't think
That's why it'd
nobody
be
will beat him
good. You
1-on-1.
know who else for the young bucks out there?
Who that?
Wimby and Chet because they don't like each other.
Two skinny
That would have
dudes.
the internet going crazy.
Two dudes. Not see they can't do 1-on-1 though. That's the problem because now one on can dribble. So you know like. So it'll have to be a little bit different there.
Wimby, yeah, they both can dribble.
A little bit. Let's be honest.
That'll be a good one.
That would be a good one.
I
James
kind of would like
Harden
to
and
see
Russell
people that don't like
Westbrook.
each other. Who?
James Harden. Oh, Draymond versus
I was actually thinking that. That's crazy you said that. James Harden and Westbrook? I literally was
James
just
Harden
thinking that.
Westbrook. Draymond versus Gobert. Draymond would probably choke him out.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know
Harden.
what?
What?
That'd be intense. They should have that. They should add that to the All-Star weekend.
I'm telling you. All-Star weekend. You see what they
Especially
doing now?
betting on it. They betting money on this. Oh
That'd
yeah.
be dope.
You know,
That'd be
and then
dope.
everybody got their money in the bet. Oh yeah.
And
You making a lot of money on that.
let the fans do real time betting.
Didn't the girls
That'd be
do that
dope.
in that one league? You do a round robin, how they did it?
I thought the girls did
For the what's
before.
that thing? Undefeated? Yeah.
Yeah, but that
And what's her
that'd be
name won it
pretty
from
sweet.
UConn.
That'd be pretty sweet to do it though. I'd
They
support
should
that
do
all
that.
day. But speaking of the NBA, man, the NBA All Star, you see, they're doing USA versus the world next year.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're
They,
changing the
it
formation
seems
up
like
on that.
NFL, NBA listen to everything Stephen A. be saying. Because once he say it, they go into action. I needed him to say something about something over here.
I think it's
Gosh.
just Stephen A. speaks the truth, and I think people are starting to realize that. Except LeBron.
And KD and everybody else.
That
A lot of
generation.
people don't like him. But hey, he do speak the truth.
My
He
thing
made
is,
it.
my thing is, why don't you like him now, right? Because he speaks the truth.
You know how it's kind of like the LeBron theory. Like he's on everything. You hear about him too much. He did this too long, and
Yep.
like, oh,
Yep.
low. Oh yeah, did you see? You see Michelle Beadle that used to be on ESPN? So she had a talk show on uh, Mad Dog
Hawk.
Sports Radio
Hmm.
from the time slot that Stephen A. now has.
Stephen A.
So
took
she
the
didn't
time
find
slot.
out till they talked about it on the show, and that's when they found out that they were about to lose their show, and that's who they found out they were losing it to. And so maybe they could have moved her to a different slot or gave her another one. They just straight fired both of them.
Well, because did you see, like Stephen A. said, I'm gonna be on from 1 to 3, and then
Yeah,
Mad Dog's gonna be on. Then I'm
3
coming
to
back.
6.
I said,
Then I'm
dang.
back on from 6 to 8.
I said, dang.
And some they were like, "Well, who wants to hear you again for 6 to 8?" Because well, if I want to hop on and go live, I can hop on and go live. I was like, "Oh man, that dude getting all the money."
Hey, he the real deal though.
I'm
If
like,
you sit back
man,
and
what do
think
you?
about it,
Who's his producers? Because how is he gonna have so much? You're talking all the time, like all the time. You're talking
he's the real deal, man.
like they just
He's
writing
the
up
real deal.
everything.
He's the
I
real
can,
deal
well,
though.
I can
Like
imagine it.
he has some valid points, man. When you
Just
sit
getting
back and
paid.
you listen to some of the stuff, he has some
I
valid
listen to
valid
all
points.
of them. I watch that dude every day. Some
Yeah,
people watch it with a cup of coffee. I have other stuff, water.
yeah. What else is happening in sports, man? I just saw so much this week, bro.
You got your finals going on. We got the series even 1-1. The first game was crazy. Indiana came all the way back down 15 with
Mm.
Halliburton hitting the jumper to win it by 1. This game, I didn't really see the end of it, but they were getting blown out the last. When I looked at it, it was like 8 minutes to go, 7 minutes ago.
It
I
ended
doubt
up
they had to come back.
123, 107. They weren't coming back
Oh,
off of that, bro.
yeah. So now they go back. They go to Indiana 1-1. How you seeing it working over there? We got 2 games in Indiana.
They go 1-1.
Even so, we're coming back to OKC even.
OKC even. And I know I said Pacers in 6.
You
Whoever
said
wins
Pacers
that
in
game,
6.
whoever wins that game 5, it's a wrap.
You said Pacers in 6. Okay. I said OKC in
Yeah,
5, but that obviously could still happen. Can still happen.
yeah. I mean, depends. You know what? Here's the thing. OKC has outplayed all but 5 minutes of a game, right? Like out of two games, they've been outplayed them all but 5 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things that OKC, they if they play like they're capable of, they can win the next 4. But I think Indiana will, or the next 3. But I think Indiana will go ahead and do their thing, man.
All right. I think OKC gets game 3. It's a battle for game 4, but they pull it out. They win by single digits on that one. They come back and they close them out. So it's a gentleman's sweep,
Oh,
4-1.
sweet, huh? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Because what Halliburton ended with points today. When I saw it, he had like 3 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds.
But you know what? That's why he was in the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He ain't
I know
consistent,
that.
bro.
I know that.
But
That's why he's
he's
not a
big time.
superstar. So
He ended up with 17. No,
Okay.
he ended up with 17 points, 5 turnovers,
How many assists?
5 turnovers, 3 assists.
Oh, he didn't score. He didn't have any more assists other than that first the
Turnovers is
first
turnovers
three
is a lot,
quarters.
bro. Turnovers, that's a lot of turnovers, man. But he's just, I mean, again, don't get me wrong, he makes big time shots, but I mean, he's not consistent, bro. I don't know. I don't know the last time I seen a superstar with 3 points.
No,
They gotta at least give you 10.
definitely not him.
I mean, 3 points.
But he had 17 tonight.
Yeah, 17 tonight.
Oh
3 points, bro.
my
Yeah, 3 of the first 3 quarters. Or
Yeah, that's
first
what I'm
two
saying.
quarters. 3 points. Do you know how hard it would be to only score 3 points in the NBA? Where no defense is played?
Well, when you have the ball in your hand, that's hard to do all the time. When you always have
Yeah,
the ball, you
yeah,
should you
17.
should always be able to score more than 3 points.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree.
Like it's always in your hand. You're in control of
Yep.
everything. Who shoots it and when.
Yep.
So yeah, you could easily get like yeah, you can get 3 points. That's not even attempting. That's not even being aggressive unless he was just dab broke and he was like whatever 2 for 15, 2 for 20 or something like that. Man, I can't hit no shots. At least get to the
So
free throw line.
at minimum, bro. At minimum. 3 points.
That's what SGA do all day. If he ain't hit nothing, he get to the free throw line.
like you can attack. You can attack. Get to the free throw line twice and have 4 points if you make all four. That just tells me when you only got 3 points in 2 quarters, you're not a threat, right?
Not being aggressive.
And,
No.
and you got to be
Like
aggressive.
he was
Like,
okay with we got game one. We go back home. We don't need to exert this energy right now tonight.
yeah,
We even.
I
We're
never
gonna
thought about
stretch
what
this
goes.
games out some more so everybody can make some money.
I would love to sit back and see what their mindset really is, other than what you just said, because there is no way in hell I will have that mental mindset,
And
knowing
at
how
first,
good OKC is.
when you ain't been to the finals,
Knowing that I'm going in every game, bro. We got to go up 2-0. We got to go up 3-0. we got
did you
we got
see
to
him come
win
out with a
now.
sense of urgency?
No, there wasn't no sense of urgency by them, and I think that was the problem.
Who he pay off in Vegas?
Vegas lost so much money after game one. That's probably why
That's
they
what I mean. He's
flew
like,
like
y'all, you
that.
better give my money back. That man in that room in Vegas was like, nah, you can't make me be wrong here, NBA.
Yeah, that analyst got fired, so they hired somebody else.
It was like, you are obviously not making the right moves. We got to put the right people in. Wait. Who was reffing this game? Was Scott Fisher reffing?
Foster.
Foster? Yeah, is that him? Was he
Everybody
reffing
knows
tonight?
Scott Foster. I don't know who
See,
the officials
if he was
are.
reffing, you already knew the game was going the other way.
Everybody knows it's rigged once they
Get that
bring
money
him
right.
in. Yeah, once they bring him in, everybody knows that it's rigged at that point.
And he had messed up the script.
Where's my box scores? It didn't tell me who was the officials tonight.
Oh.
He only told he was 7-13, bro. He only
Usually
took 13
DM
shots.
he'll have them. He'll have the officials that are reffing the games.
I don't think it was Scott Foster though. That's crazy though. They escaped that game one the other day, and I guess that's what happened, bro. What else we got going on, bro?
I actually have a couple questions. We got 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
What are 2 things on your bucket list that you'd still like to do?
skydive?
You want to skydive?
I do.
Oh, no.
I like the adrenaline, man. I'm a like that's why I do
You
motorized
bungee jump before?
jet ski. Yeah, I have.
Oh, fuck that.
I I'm an adventurous person, bro. I like the adrenaline. Like that's why I love motorized vehicles. But I do want to jump out of a plane. Um, I don't know what the second one would be.
What?
I don't know what the second one. I don't because my bucket list is getting empty, bro.
That's a good thing. That means you're accomplishing all
That
your
is
bucket list. My
that
shit is
is a good
full.
thing. That is a good thing. But I know skydiving is at the it's one at the very top of the list. Well, what's on? Well, what you
Sure, I got
ranking?
like Super Bowls, Final Fours.
See, I've been to a Final
Um,
Four. Um,
I ain't even been to
I,
New York.
you haven't been to New York yet?
Nope. I ain't been to Texas.
I had my wife just ask me the
Just a
other
couple
day, like,
places that I'd like to
you
go
want to go
visit.
to New York? You ain't missing nothing in Texas. Nothing but a
I just
big
want to
old
say I've
state.
been there.
Well, if you want to go, I mean, we can roll. But here's the thing, though. You got to get some boots. I got my boots. I got my boots.
I ain't wearing no damn boots.
Nope, you
It's
got to get the
listen to me.
boots.
The boot thing is like those damn what them things called that they wearing?
I got my boots
Crocs.
and
Yeah, it's like those
I,
Crocs. I ain't wearing those things. I'm
I
not
got
wearing
my
them.
boots. I got my boots and I got my hat. I got to get my buckle.
I'll wear a hat and a buckle, but I ain't wearing no boots.
Oh, you got to rock the boots, bro. Got to rock
The
the
hat
boots.
thing's not a problem. I like the hats, but the boots
But
won't.
you can't
See,
let a
that's
hat.
what the thing is. They don't make the
You
boots
can't.
the right way. They're not good for my feet. My feet are
Nah, no,
flat, so I can't wear them
they make
boots.
on the bro. They make on the right way if you get the right boot.
I'm
The
not
boot,
getting some boots for one weekend in Texas.
bro. You got. It's not only gonna be one weekend. You'll enjoy the boot. Got to get the boot.
Nah, no
Yeah,
boots.
got to get the
I
boot.
don't think I'll be able to wear that. What else?
But yeah,
I ain't got nothing else in my. I got a lot of other stuff on my bucket list.
see, I think as you do things, then you start to cross things off, and then you're like, what's the one thing I haven't done that I want to do?
Oh, I did
And
cross
then
the cruise off my list. That was on there.
that's cool. But New York, I mean, my wife was just talking about it. I'm not a. I mean, I've been when I was younger. I don't think I have the horrible desire to go, but I'll go. Right? Like it's not.
A
I mean,
lot of mine is just to go and say I've been there. But I ain't trying to go overseas or nothing really.
I do want to do I do want to do New York on New Year's Eve one year. I do
No, that
want
would
to
be
do that.
crazy.
That's on my
What
bucket
about
list.
Vegas on New Year's Eve?
I don't know if it'll be as exciting as New York.
Really? Because it's like that every night.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You go to Vegas, the nightlife in Vegas is like that every night you're there. New York on New Year's Eve. First of all, I would need to stay in the Hilton because I'm not going to be out there with all of the people that entire day and can't go to the bathroom. So I want that hotel right there at the center. But man, dude, them people they line up. They don't go to the bathroom for like 10, 11 hours. That's insane.
There's no way.
Yeah, I don't see how they can do it, but that's something I would love to do though.
Oh, you know what? New Orleans. I did the Mardi Gras.
I haven't been to Mardi Gras, but I went to New Orleans a couple times.
Bill Street in Nashville.
Yeah, I do want to do Nashville. You'll definitely need your boots in Nashville. Hmm. So that's two places you rocking your boots at.
I'm wearing no boots.
See, you gonna rock your Converse at the Country Bar in Nashville?
No,
Because
where? Well, I don't know what.
because we
I don't know
definitely
what I'm
going to
gonna
the
wear.
Country Bar. What's that?
I said I don't know what I would wear. Uh, let's see, like concerts. Like I'd like to go to one of those big old concert events that they have now, like Coachella
Coachella,
or
Coachella. You know
some
what,
of
bro?
those.
I did like that used to be on my bucket list. I went to Rolling Loud one year, but I did want to go like to Coachella one year. But the issue is with all of these shootings and killings and stuff that's happening now. I don't like. I've learned that I don't like going big crowds anymore. Like I just
That
think
makes
over
sense.
time, like everything that has happened over the years, I've literally learned from a personal level. I just don't like to be in big crowds anymore, man. And I used to love the big crowds, man. Now it's like you got your guards up everywhere you go when you're in a big crowd now, man.
Yeah.
But Coachella would be pretty cool.
Shut up. Yeah, just something like that. Those would be.
Yeah, Rolling Loud was cool. Only issue, bro, is that if it's hot, you got to deal with that
Yeah, that's
that
that's
heat
the
the
thing.
whole day,
That's the
man.
thing. I think I had a heat stroke when I went to that country concert. Man, I
being out
yeah.
being
I
out
don't
there
even know
all
what.
day.
I was out there
Yeah,
all day dripping and drinking.
yeah, yeah.
Actually, I
Being
should
out
make a
there
new
all
shirt.
day,
Dripping and drinking. That's the shirt. Dripping and drinking.
dripping and
That's the
drinking.
wear. Just
But
dripping and
yeah,
drinking. That's all I was doing. As much as I was drinking it in, it was just coming right out. I could
oh,
not.
it
Yeah.
does. It does, bro. It does. It drains you out quick, bro. You got to be You got to be like hydrated like 4 days early for that stuff.
I'm gonna
But
scream over there and
I'll
go
definitely
back and
roll with
forth.
that one. Um, yeah, that bucket list ain't that big right now. Pretty sure something. I'm pretty sure something to come up.
All right, Big Mo. One more before we head out. Were you ever bullied when you were a kid, or did you ever do any bullying in school?
I was bullied. I was bullied. I ain't always been big, bro. Um, I ain't gonna sit there and lie. I ain't always been big. But you know, in high school or my 8th grade year, seventh, 8th grade year, right? I used to have earrings in my ear, right? And the high school I was going to, coaching staff, in my eyes, is racist. But what was crazy about it is that the head coach, right, would call me a faggot. No, I'm supposed to say the word no more, but
Oh,
he did.
yeah.
Right? Put that disclaimer up. But the head coach did. Head coach did. Um, so what was crazy about that whole thing, you know, I was bullied over it, right? Like, so I decided to transfer schools. So I transferred schools. I ended up going to school with my uncle was the coach for 4 years. I was a phenomenal athlete. Obviously, everyone knows that, but no one liked me. At least none of the people in that town because it was a rivalry school. So it was a little bullying, a little hazing
Oh,
going
because you
on.
transferred over to the rival?
Yeah, yeah, before for those 4 years. So it was definitely I was definitely bullied. I ain't ever really bullied nobody growing up. It was the other way around, bro.
Oh, dang. I wasn't expecting it to happen that late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
but
got.
you
I,
but but
go
you know
ahead.
what's crazy? You know what's crazy about it is you didn't know what bullying was until now. I just thought people ain't like you and they just pick on you and stuff like you know
Well,
what I
that's
mean.
that's both of it. That means the same thing. They didn't
So
like you and they picked on you. No, I
yeah,
got
so
bullied. I got bullied when I was younger, like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, because I was a chubby kid. But back in the day when my mom used to buy my clothes Husky, like they wasn't even
yeah,
it wasn't even didn't say big and large. It was just Husky. Like that's even that's even worse than big. Um. So yeah, yeah, yeah. It was interesting time. It was great.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
actually what made me. It was actually what molded
Well,
me.
yeah, I said the same thing. And back then, you couldn't really report it as bullying, right? Like,
Yeah. I was
I'm
getting
just
bullied.
saying.
Man, you better toughen up. You don't get more
Exactly.
than
That's
bullied.
how it was. Exactly. Exactly. So, it is what it is. I learned, right? I think it made me a better person today. And I'm thankful for the people that did do the bullying on me. Hopefully, they got change hearts.
Shoot, I still remember the people.
I got a list of names in my head, but it is what it is.
I was gonna say the names, but yeah. So I remember here. I actually remember once I was chubby and stuff, And I remember the dudes was like, "Yeah, man, this that." Just remember we're in third grade right this time or second
Mhm.
grade, and I was like, "Okay, whatever." And so then I just started. I was playing baseball. It was t-ball at the time, and I remember going home and I don't know, was watching some game and Michael Jordan played. And I said, "Ooh, I don't want to play this anymore. I want to play this." And started playing basketball all the time, all the time. That's all I did was just start playing basketball. Shed it all the weight. Go back third grade. I remember this, and there was this one girl, and the dude that used to pick on me all the time liked her. And we was on the playground. So back in the day on the playground, you got to be the fastest on the playground. Like if you're the fastest, shoot, you can get any girl on the playground. So we always race, beat him. So I took your girl. Sure enough, he was all mad. Then they tried to jump me after school. This is third grade. After school, because I took his girl from him on the playground because I was the fastest. After they had made fun of me for being fat all through second grade and first grade. So that was just my payback for him. I didn't need to do nothing else. And since then, and at that point, she was my girlfriend until I left. It- And the funny thing, here's the crazy thing. I went back, not this time, but like I think about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whenever I went back home, I ran into one of them. And they're like, "Oh man, what's up? How you been?" I was like, "Man, we are not friends like that. I don't understand what you forgot about." But I remember all that shit. Crazy the
That's
things
the
you remember.
Yeah, but that's the world we're in, man. Because you know what? It's one of those things that I remember it. I don't hold grudges, right? But you're right. We ain't friends like that. That'd be the funny part. But yeah, I definitely remember being bullied. That's where my wife just recently asked me that question too. And I was like, yeah, I was bullied growing up for sure.
Do you ever wonder if like there's a dude that got bullied that you thought you didn't bully, but they thought you bullied them, and they're just waiting.
You know, I
Like I
I
think
never.
I think we had a little conversation with AB, and I was like, man, if you ever did something to somebody in the past and you think you're cool, but then they're not cool. I had a similar situations in football. When we were coaching. Apparently, some parent wasn't cool from back in the day.
Yeah,
Like you didn't even know, but apparently they still had some grudge that you
I mean,
said that you don't keep a grudge, but
yeah,
sometimes people keep a grudge.
yeah. But think about that parent. That parent tried to bully me as an adult. Like, just sit back and think about it, bro. Like, just I do, but you know what? I If there was somebody out there I bullied unknowingly, I'd be surprised, right? I don't know. Like I was so much into sports growing up. People would pick on me, but at the same time, like I was just so into sports,
And
right?
I had another question off of that, but going to it. So like usually that's happening when you're younger. In
Yep.
college, do you see anybody getting bullied, or is that more going to be specific to sports?
Nah, and like even when I was in college, yeah, I mean it happens. It's hazing in college is what they call it. But it is a form of bullying for sure.
But I know, but is it going to be more specific to sports? Like, do you see cases of kids like in college
No,
getting bullied as opposed like to high school?
I,
You know how
I,
you got
I
the
think
cliques?
I think it's more specific to sports because in college you don't have to hang out with everyone, right?
Got you. Okay.
It's not like when you're in the school you're stuck with all of those people for that period of time, right? But in college you find your own clique. You see what I'm saying? And once you find your own clique, it's up to you to kick it with them or not, right? Like, hell, I went to a school where I couldn't tell you who was all on campus. You know what I mean? Like you said, different person every day, different group
Hmm.
every day. So it was up to you to make friends with them.
Not similar to the cruise that you see the
Yeah.
same people every day.
Are we cutting before we hang up this thing today? Any more questions before we
Oh, I got a whole list of questions, but I can save them the next week because we ran out of time. But yeah, who you gonna cut?
we cutting?
You can cut
You,
somebody today.
you damn right. Put that disclaimer up because I'm finna cut somebody today.
Oh
I just
well,
I just went 2 weeks without cutting nobody, people. But
you
this
did. You were
week,
nice.
but this week I'm cutting a damn Portland Spirit. Out they asses is cut, right? I'm slicing y'all asses off. You're cut. Yeah, you fire that thing all you want. They are cut. Multiple reasons, right? Multiple reasons. Reason A: don't tell us a damn cruise leave at 10:30 and we don't leave till 11:45. Issue
I,
B: don't take me past 4 bridges and turn me back around like I went on a damn midnight cruise. That was, bro, that had to be the shadiest.
oh
They
my
had,
god.
that had to be the shadiest shit. Now, don't get me wrong, the music was good, right? But that had to be the most shadiest moment. I said, first of all, they had us out there in line for like an hour and a half. Second, we get on that thing, we don't leave until like after 12 when it was supposed to leave at 10:30, right? 10:30 to 1. Third, you pass the 4 bridges and then you making a U-turn. And that was it.
Hey, I gotta agree. I 100% agree. Like I literally turned around, had one drink, went back, had another drink, and I was like, "We're done." I was like, "This doesn't make any sense." Like by the time we walked up the third levels twice, the ride was over.
Bro, they cut, boy, their asses is cut. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like,
Like
man,
we would have had more. We had more conversation and stuff in line.
man, they are cut, boy. I could have sat out there and waited till y'all got back because it would have been only 20 minutes.
Uh,
Oh,
Shoot, so now
shit.
y'all know if y'all ever doing that cruise, man, that it was not. Yeah, it was not the business. I mean, the vibe was cool. The music was great. The idea was perfect, but you got to be better planned to
You got to
execute the job you have at hand, and
you got to be
don't.
on time.
It's kind of like the other things, like that burger thing earlier. Like, don't say this is how it's gonna be,
Yep,
and then it ain't really that.
yep,
Luckily, it was
yep.
nice.
I got 2 people to cut this week, but that's
Uh
one
oh.
person.
Go
I,
ahead. Go
I'm
ahead. I agree with
I,
that cut. That's
I
I'll
cut
take that cut.
I cut that Portland Spirit this week, boy. Man, I had to cut him. Man, that was a cut, bro.
Yeah, I agree
And
with
then
that cut. Who else you cutting?
and then the other person I'm cutting, Elon Musk. He cut.
Hey, why? Because he got mad at his buddy and then tried to throw him
Hey,
out under the bus.
hey, how you gonna roll with somebody all these years and then all of a sudden the real reason why I don't hang out with my buddy is because he on the Epstein report.
And then you see somebody say it, but then you had your son fly on
Oh,
that same
shit.
plane with him, huh?
Boy, I saw that comment. Boy,
I was like, wow.
boy, if you ain't cut this week, that's like 2 kids fighting, man. They grown ass men and they fighting. We need to cut both of them this week,
Two
actually.
rich kids.
Yeah, we need to cut both of them. That's how they fight, by the way. They fight on Twitter. Nothing else.
They got money to do that.
No fight in person, just on Twitter.
What is
But both of those people are cut. But that damn Portland Spirit, boy, you cut. I slice your ass from my heart. You're done. Done.
Portland
I'll
Spirit,
done.
Elon Musk? You have been officially cut. Now they getting shot at. Oof. Yeah, I agree. I agree on Portland Spirit for sure. That was yeah. Elon, I don't know what to tell you, man. Apparently your money don't matter because you tried to pay for yourself to get out of a certain bill, and he said no, and you got mad about it. Like, I'm out of here. I quit my job. But then in the same breath, did you see you just hire some dude that worked at a gas station or
I
something
saw that. I saw
to
that.
run something else?
I saw that.
I'm like, what is going on? Now you don't even need it. First of all, he didn't go to school to be a president. I'm just saying that. So you don't even need to be in
Quali-
anything that do with any kind of
No, you don't need to be qualified
government.
no more. Yeah, our national security guy that he picked, he ain't qualified. He ain't
This is
got no
insane.
experience.
Like we just
Yeah.
got anybody running it.
Yep. You just have to agree.
Oof.
Oh man,
Be
we had
prepared,
time.
world.
What else? You
Thank
you
y'all.
cutting you cutting somebody or you
No,
good?
I just agree with your cut. I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Another show, another episode. We done cut people. We done talk. I got a whole lot of questions for next week, so be prepared. They'll be great ones.
All
So
right.
thank y'all for listening.
All right, people. Enjoy your night.
It's a hot one. We out.